So my new friend here informs me that she is actually a concert photographer. And my name is Abraham, by the way.
I'm Anna. Nice to
Anna,
meet you.
pleasure to meet you. Thanks for taking a few minutes of your time.
Not a problem.
So what brought you to Foundation?
I'm actually.
And I know that's a dumb question because
No.
Paul Van Dyk is here tonight, but
So I've shot pretty much. I've shot Oakenfold. I've shot Tiesto. I've shot Skrillex. I've done a lot of the big headliner shows, and I'm in school right now, so I kind of stopped shooting shows for a while.
where are you going to school?
WGU for my bachelor's in business management.
I'm not from the state, so I don't know what WGU is.
It's Western Governors University. It's
Okay.
actually online.
Okay.
So I'm in school right now. I stopped shooting shows, and I'm kind of just slowed down. I'm actually taking time out to actually go to shows and do some more organic stuff, and actually go to shows and enjoy myself from a different perspective.
Right.
I've shot a lot of big EDM artists. I've done, I've shot Beyond Wonderland and Freak Night and a lot of the USC events.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Hell
love
yeah.
them. But on the other hand, it's very rare that I actually get to go to a show and enjoy myself and dance and have fun and really connect with the part of me that got into doing photography
Right.
and really connect with music. I'm a complete music junkie, so it's a really awesome thing to do. So it's Paul Van Dyk's one of those bucket list musicians that I would absolutely love to check off. And
Right, and you know more too of not just like the concert, but like the
experience.
after and the being able the access to this individual, and it's a brief romance with it's a dance. It's amazing. Like our job is amazing. Like
yeah, it's always definitely interesting to see things from a photographer's perspective because it's a little different. And that's one of the things I really enjoy is going to a show as a photographer and then going to a show not as a photographer, is because
Right.
you really get to see the dichotomy of both of them and really get to compare the experience from both sides of the stage. As a photographer, usually I'm standing in the back of the stage trying to get some decent shots, really enjoying myself, but it's a completely different experience. And so going to a club and going to a local show and going to something that there's a lot of people here locally that feel really passionate about is always a great thing to do. So.
I've part of what's starting this documentary for me, and I hope you don't mind that I'm interjecting myself into this, but is I believe that we are creating a new Woodstock.
Okay.
There's a reason why Jimi Hendrix is buried here. There is, right where we are standing, a building in which people fly in from all over the world, including, right now, a man that is here that for the last 20 years has been ranked within the top 100, and quite a lot of that time, a lot more towards the number one spot. You'll go inside and there should be, by the end of the night, I think it will get to like 646, 652, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And there will be no gunshots. Nobody's going to die. There's not going to be fights. It's amazing for me, where I'm from the Detroit area, that when you mentioned names like Paul Oakenfold that you've shot, Paul Van Dyk, even when they would go and play in Hamtramck, the amount of violence in those areas.
I went to a couple shows when I was in New York for work last month and for my day job as a project manager. And I went to a couple shows and I've never been to a show where you could still feel the tension in the room like that. Seattle has its own really kind of microcosm of show atmospheres where you walk into a room at a show and every single person in that room is happy to be there. Every single person in the room is part of that community. Every single person in that room is there and they're passionate about things. Even if they don't know who the hell is playing and they walk into the club with a friend, they leave knowing that they had a damn good time. It's part of the experience, and you go home with knowing that you're part of something bigger. And like when I was in New York and when I've shot shows in LA and even in Vegas and stuff, it's not there. That's a purely Seattle thing.
It is. It's kind of freaky to walk up to an individual that you don't know at all and engage them and not have them respond negatively. Sometimes I do. I have a very fluid ethnicity, but for some they do make assumptions, and those assumptions are very rude when they're voiced or expressed. But 95% of the time, even for the individuals that are naive and don't know who Abraham Isaac is, they're very open. They are ready to find out about, wow, who is this individual? Like, it's magical. It's magical. Wow, we are 5 minutes and 40 seconds into this, and I've met a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful human being. Tell me your name again.
Anna.
Anna. Do you want to keep talking, or you want to take a break?
Doesn't matter to me. I'm
All right.
waiting for someone who's running late, so.
Okay, so where did your relationship with photography start?
With what?
Photography.
So I did some photography in high school. So let me back up. It actually began with a relationship with music.
Okay,
My
awesome.
dad was a drummer in a bunch of California metal bands. My mom was a concert cellist for a while before she had me at 17, and she kind of gave up her dream of becoming an actual like Juilliard celloist at that point. When my parents had me, one of my very first memories was listening to my dad play drums.
Could I interrupt you for a moment? Do you want me to take a break? Stop this, have you review what we've got, and see if you like the shooting style that I'm using on this?
Sure.
Or do you want to just keep going?
Either way, it honestly doesn't matter to me.
All right, let's take a quick break.
So, one of the very first memories I have is obviously listening to my dad play drums, and then my mother played cello when I was little, and every single memory I have is connected to music with that. And growing up, I think my first concert ever, my dad took me to when he was 5, and he was working as a roadie for a while. And then after that, my mom brought me to Seattle for the first time when I was 9. And
No, we're good. We're good.
good things. And my mom brought me to Seattle for a Queens Red concert when I was 9. And she handed me a disposable camera and said, "Here, go have fun." She stood me up on a bunch of trap cases.
How old were you?
I was 9. And that was it was a fan club only show at some venue that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
And it was like in Georgetown or something. And I remember walking along some trap cases with a disposable camera and took my very first concert photos ever at my first like big show.
Wow.
And I've been to easily over 3,000 shows.
Wow.
I've shot over 1,000 bands personally.
Wow.
So my mom worked nights when I was in high school and stuff, and she worked at Burien, so we would come and do a show, and then I would go to work with her, and then I'd go to school in the morning. She dropped me off at school on her way home.
Oh my gosh.
And we went to shows
You
3 or 4
are
times
such
a
a
day.
fucking badass bitch, and not a misogynistic way. I mean that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
So music has kind of become really an integral part of who I am, and I would say a friend of mine actually started shooting shows after high school. She got in shooting for a media outlet in Kansas City, and she's like, "Hey, they're looking for more Seattle photographers." And I went, I've never like done professional band photography. I'd done some for a couple local bands that I was friends with, and really, I hadn't gotten photo passes for anything except for through a band I was friends with. And I shot my first professional show at 19 or 20, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So, and I shot for 4.5 straight years. So yeah, it would have been about 19 or 20. And then I shot for 3.5, 4 years. And I went to South by Southwest. I did a lot of things like that.
Austin.
Huge things. Yep. I've traveled. It's always, I always have to pay for myself, but, I get free show tickets out of it. So I remember shooting Paul Oakenfold at King Cat before King Cat, when it still existed, and having to take apart my lenses mid-show because they were so clogged up on the inside. I shot Skrillex there too. Let's see. I've been to, if I haven't shot Resolution, I've gone to Resolution every year but this year, the last couple years. Try to go to a lot of USC events. I somehow never make it to Paradiso.
Paradiso is on my list. I'm gonna use Paradiso as my trial run for Burning Man.
There you go.
I've only been shooting for a year. When I was creative director of a lingerie swimwear company, I'd use my cell phone, so I have a little bit more time on that. And I got so many haters from Oh, he only uses a cell phone, but I took some beautiful stuff. Like Vogue liked my pictures before. I was like, wow. Then my account got hacked, but I'm rambling, and this is about you.
But no, so I'm on hiatus right now. I took some time off to really focus on school. I'm at like 74% of my bachelor's, and I've done that in 14 months from nothing. So, and I'm paying for it out of pocket. So it's one of those, like, if I don't do it, I'm going to feel really bad because it's costing me money. So I took a break from shooting shows. I shot a couple in there, but nothing big. A couple local things for friends. But I stopped trying to push my photography career forward because of that. It was just so much was going on in terms of personal shit.
These guys are jokesters. You just gotta know. There's some jokesters over here. There's some jokesters.
There always is. Bouncers are some of the best guys in the world. You know, you always want to have the bouncers on your side no matter where the hell you're working. If you're working or if you're a patron, you know, they've saved my ass a couple times. I got attacked in LA at one point. Outside of a 30 Seconds to Mars show. I was actually waiting for the guys because I'm friends with
Jared.
The guys. Yeah, I'm friends with Jared and Matt and everyone, and Shannon.
I'll let you go. I could just interrupt you forever. I apologize.
It's okay. But no, I had a bouncer save my ass that night. I had some bouncers in Austin who, the first time I did South by Southwest, I was 20, and I had just gotten laid off, and I had just gotten out of a really, really bad engagement. And I went to South by, and I was having a blast. And then I walked out of Emo's one night, and a guy tried to steal my camera. And a bouncer pretty much, you know, saved my livelihood at that point, because that's how I was making money to pay my rent. So I don't know. Music's weird, you know. We're all connected by music, so it's a good thing.